The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To regain our natural health, our rights, and our freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke. Good morning.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, 72 degrees, going up into the mid-80s. So we've got our May mojo going on, I think, here.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions, please contact me, Paige at TFNN.com, and Nico at TFNN.com. We're here to take your questions. We want you to get involved with the show.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you can call us, of course, at 877-927-6648. So yesterday, while I was closing up for the evening and getting ready to jump in the rack, I was looking at Facebook, and Jasmine from Bradenton had posted this little article that says, "Are aliens making you hungry?" And I thought we'd start off the show. It starts off saying, have you ever felt a strong emotional craving for certain foods, and have you ever experienced these cravings even when you knew that your body had enough to eat?
Yeah, exactly right. And you know, I'm always talking about the good bugs and the bad bugs here on the show. And it's well known that emotions and stress can really play a role in the cravings that you experience. It's really actually your hormones are sending signals to your brain that boost these cravings. But you know, what if you really could understand that it's something else that's causing those feelings, something outside of you? And in fact, that's true. It's actually these entities that we host, as I've often shared. You know, we're a host. We have 10 trillion cells, but you know, we have 1 trillion cells, but we have 10 trillion
microbes,
biotics living in our bodies.
Little animals.
That's right.
Little bacteria.
And, you know, the word the microbiome, this is the ecosystem of microbes that reside primarily in your gut. And we already know that swirling masses of bacteria play a role in your immune system. These guys help us digest our food and even provide nutrients, vitamins and minerals. They play an important part in synthesizing those essential nutrients we need.
Yeah, and there's actually two things going on. In the small intestines, there's a lot of course, in the stomach, we have the hydrochloric acid. In the small intestines, we have all that bacteria that's natural to our body, whereas in the large intestines, which takes care of most of our plant food, we have the microdome. We have this bacteria that's mainly for digesting the plants, plant food. And that has to be introduced to us first, I think, with the placenta. When you're moving through the birth canal, you get a lot of that bacteria from your mother.
Right, and hopefully the bacteria is staying in the large bowel, not the small bowel. We don't want what we see now is small intestine bacterial overgrowth. It's actually more of a sterile place. Otherwise, we get into trouble. But it's really you know, important that we start to realize that these powerful little creatures are having an impact on what you're actually having for dinner or lunch and breakfast.
Yeah, some species of the gut bacteria thrive on fiber found in vegetables. Some are specialists that digest and prefer seaweed. These have been isolated from humans in Japan. Others thrive on cellulose,
yeah, the fiber.
That are found in African children that are raised on a grain called sorghum. Researchers even identified certain populations of bacteria that are common to those who have a strong desire for chocolate. Me. I like chocolate.
Yeah, and this makes me think a lot about a lot of the research going on for people that continue to have digestive and intestinal issues. The work that's going on with fecal implants, you know, of reintroducing via fecal matter bacteria that may help balance out what you've got going on.
That's a real interesting subject too, because that's kind of a modern thing going on, and they're really taking the bacteria from ancient people. They try to, in a sense, don't they?
Yeah, or for people that aren't having some of the symptoms you're having.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think that we really need to take a look at that, because the microbiome in our gut is really is our second brain, and these critters are really helping. You know, it's like it says, willpower is no match for biopower. Yeah. So they've got the power, folks, and it's proven that the brain can send signals to influence the gut bacteria, but the line of communication works both ways. So these bacteria are sending messages to our brain.
And everybody's built a little bit different, so you may be getting a different signal than your spouse or your children. Probably more along the lines your children might be following you or your wife, but you certainly have different bacteria than every other person, especially in different areas.
And here's some interesting information from the journal Bioessays, and they highlighted some potential ways that these alien hitchhikers can potentially control your brain, Nico. And the author believes your gut bacteria may be able to change the expression of your taste receptors, making certain foods taste better. Might be a little bit of the reason why we're trying to get our bodies back in balance, and we crave these certain things. And they can actually release hunger-inducing hormones and peptides.
Yeah. I was thinking about this as I was reading it last night, and I was thinking that, of course, in the wild, we would be eating seasonally because we would have to.
And that would maintain the populations.
That would maintain the populations and give you different populations at different times of the year. So you wouldn't having that craving one, say you have that chocolate craver that's in there. But if you were a indigenous person, you wouldn't have that because probably wouldn't be eating chocolate.
You probably wouldn't even know about it.
You probably wouldn't even know about it. But in a sense, what's happening, if you're eating chocolate on a continuous basis, you have much more of a chance of it rebounding on you where you're going to be craving it.
I think it's a good clue that when you're repetitively eating or consuming something or having a craving, it's a sign that maybe you've got some people that are trying to influence you, bad influencers.
Yeah, you're hanging around with the wrong crowd in a sense.
That could be.
Yeah, well, before you butt in here, I think one of the things that we have to say, if you're eating something consistently on a consistent basis and it's plant food, you're probably going to end up in this problem somewhere along the line.
Oh, I think, well, why do you say that?
Because it's not seasonal. If you're eating something every single day, you can't be eating seasonally. So that means that bacteria keeps going. No new bacteria is coming in. You're always,
and that's
it
a
starts
problem today.
overpopulating.
It's a problem today because
Yes.
I
I think more today than ever.
think most people don't even know what seasonal is because of the fact that we have fruits
What's
and
the
vegetables.
seasonal in your store? Yeah,
Right.
because it's always the same thing, especially if you're going in cans, boxes, and
I like
things.
seasonal restaurants that base their menu on seasonal stuff. You know, these guys can even manipulate your feelings by producing compounds that are converted into dopamine and serotonin. That's taking control of your body's basic feel-good reward systems. And, these little guys are going to let you know what they want.
Yeah, and in this article, there are 6 easy steps to a balanced microbiome and a better relationship with the food. And I think when we get back from the break, I'd like to go over each one of these because I think this is opens your eyes.
It's important to learn how we can cultivate a healthy inner ecosystem.
Yeah, and I'm thinking probably with your meat proteins, if you're eating really good quality meats, you probably won't have this problem. But if you're eating the factory meats, then this may also be a problem in your small intestine. It's not just in your colon.
And I think we really got to realize that, Nico, you made a good point. I mean, because what's in the factory farmed meats? Antibiotics that are killing some of the good guys.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back,
So
guys.
eating the same thing every day is not good, but
and where you get your food from,
I think there's
you
one
need
thing
to know.
that you can eat and have every day that'd be really good for you.
What's that?
That Primal Edge.
Okay, I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea, too.
And you can pick that up on the TFNN website.
Use your Tiger dollars, too.
Yeah, and also pick up our newsletter. I have a new one coming out next week.
Good
I'm
stuff.
just formulating it today, and our number here is 877-927-6648. Paige and I'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and I'm with Nico Haan, and we're talking about how to get greater influence over the microbiome, your gut, your second brain. And, it's important that we can kind of get control of what's going on there. And how can we cultivate a healthy inner ecosystems? Here's a couple points. We can repopulate the good bacteria, right, Nico?
Yeah, populate your healthy gut bacteria with good probiotic food sources, including lacto-fermented vegetables like sauerkraut and kimchi, kefir, kombucha, and other foods preserved using the traditional methods.
And, we can use probiotic supplements. They can help make a swift change. But if we want to live in a more primal, traditional lifestyle, we realize that cultures for years knew that this was a way to get those healthy soil microbiomes, biotics, into their body.
Yeah, I think using pickle or pickle juice, using the tempeh or kombucha, once a day with one of those meals, and if not every meal, you should have something like that to kind of spur on these bacteria. So you're basically feeding the good bacteria.
And it's the tart taste.
And it's the tart taste, always, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's the tart taste, which we know in the five tastes. And, folks, kombucha and these cultured fermented drinks are really what I call medieval soda pop. I mean, this is how they looked at this as a treat. Mm-hmm. They made these dark teas and they fermented them, and it gave them a great effervescence and taste. Number two, maintaining daily with natural probiotic foods, which is what we just kind of said. But the key is our ancestors had these soil-based organisms in their food because they didn't have this sterile environment like we talked about last show.
But today we really have to supplement, and I think that's what they're talking about, maintaining your natural probiotic foods. I take a nice probiotic every single morning, and sometimes when I travel I don't, but I've got a real good one, Prescript Assist.
Yeah, Prescript
Assist. That's a real good one, and it
company.
even says on there if you miss a day here and there, it doesn't matter once you're on it for 3 months. Then the other one is don't feed the good bacteria and starve the bad. Many vegetables contain powerful prebiotic fiber that feeds our good bacteria. Things like onions and garlic and leeks are great choices because just their natural aroma kind of draws you. You can kind of feel when you're eating an onion or eating garlic that it's actually working immediately. I like that feeling of it.
Oh, yeah, and that reminds me of that time we talked about the lower risk of all diseases of the people where the Vidalia onions grow.
Yeah.
See, again, they're staying healthier because they're eating that onion a lot, and their gut bacteria are getting the food. I like understanding that, you take a probiotic, but key is to take prebiotics.
Yeah.
Feed those good bugs so they can, withstand the forces. And, it goes without saying, reduce sugar and processed foods, because these folks are the foods that feed the bad bugs.
That's for sure. Don't kill your good bugs with pesticides and antibiotics. So you need to really look at your food and say, okay, where am I getting it? Where is it being grown? Who's growing it? Who's feeding the animals? What are they feeding it? And am I eating seasonally? I want you to get that in your head, seasonally. And it's getting harder and harder because even as we read in the paper this last week, these companies, independent people, are even, fibbing a little bit, saying, this stuff comes from the local and maybe coming from Chile. A big article in the Sunday paper, I think it was this last week.
Well, it may be coming
that.
from Chile.
But then it's not local.
Well, yeah, it's not local,
yeah, so
correct,
people are
but it
claiming
may
it's
still
local.
be clean. Yeah,
It's,
local.
and they may be saying, in this article, they were saying that it may be that they're not growing it when they say, I'm the farmer that grows it. So
It's best to know your farmer first.
Yeah, it's a go and know your farmer. The other thing is minimize modern products.
Yeah, we've got to maintain the integrity of the gut. We've got to minimize and eliminate the use of antibacterial products. We talked about that on last show.
Yeah.
Triclosan, these chemical cocktails. We don't know there's 80,000 different chemicals that are available, these petrochemicals. I mean, these scientists have been busy, but they haven't studied most of them.
They haven't studied.
And why should we trust them? I mean, we should not trust them, folks. I say we should not trust them. And so look for ways to eliminate anything that could have been contaminated with man-made chemicals is my recommendation.
Yeah. Stress last is a good point there. That's number 6. Our ancient ancestors experienced periods of stress followed by periods of rest.
That's the key word, rest.
It's so true. In the jiu-jitsu, if you're going on a daily basis or even 2 or 3 times a week, you're constantly being stressed. And once in a while, your body's just saying, I need to just not go this week and take a week off. Very hard for us digestive people to do, but it's a necessary thing. And I think our athletes are tuned more into it. Everyday people who may not even know that they're stressed. Of course, you got stressed by food. You got stressed by air because of what you're breathing. You got stressed by your household products that you're using. Stressed by the environment outside that everybody's using, the Roundup. Stress just because we're slaves to our job. We need this job. You may not even enjoy it, but you have to do it. These are modern stresses that our ancient ancestors didn't have.
It's completely out of proportion.
Yeah.
And those of us that have kind of studied more of a Eastern or German new medicine, where we're looking at the effect of stressors and the vibration that these do, it's really true, folks. All of these things can throw the system, and emotional stress can be much worse. So, are you growing good sugar? Are you growing sugar craving bugs, or are you growing vegetable loving bugs? And that's the key thing. We want to try and encourage the ones that will help us. And, we really have to be, ooh, boy, we got a train going by this morning.
Yeah.
Huh? How about that? We really have to be cautious of trying to get the food in so that we can keep that balance healthy.
Yeah. You can get on the train or you can get off the train. Just don't get in front of the train.
That's right. That's right.
So our microbiome starts growing the day we were born, and the type of birth we had, and the health of the mother begins the process, and environmental influences these bugs as we journey through life. Modern processed diets and toxic lifestyle influence the growth of the bad bugs, while ancestral diets support the good guys. It's kind of like a garden. If you plant it well, it'll grow well. You remove the weeds and don't kill the flowers. Yeah,
right.
exactly. It just makes a lot of sense.
The health begins in the soil, and that's kind of like as above, so below. You've got to do the right things.
Yeah. There's an editor's note at the bottom here. It says, love bread, but not getting the gut-harming carbs and grains. Check out Kelly's newest book, which is called Better Breads. And this is really a book about how to make grain-free, prebiotic-rich paleo breads, biscuits, pancakes, muffins, and things like that. And I think once you're on the paleo diet, you can start exploring some of these that may work for you.
And I think it's okay to have after a while, after you've reset your hunger hormones, your ghrelin and your leptin and your insulin.
Yeah. Now, my wife and I, for our anniversary a little while ago, last month, we went to a special place, and they make the sourdough bread. So we each had a piece of bread. And because sourdough is already, doing its thing,
Right.
helping you along. And for me, I had no reaction whatsoever. It was great. My wife, however, we didn't realize, and we didn't think the process through. She's highly allergic to anything to do with cow's milk or butter or anything like that. And of course, when you're talking sourdough, you're talking it probably made with lactose. Yeah. So she did have problems about 48 hours later.
She felt it.
Yeah, she felt it. It was a huge release.
Yeah,
Not in a good way. But, those things happen, and that's kind of why we experiment, to re-knock it into your brain. Oh, yeah, that's in there. That's not good for me, where I didn't have the problem at all.
Yeah, and you start to be in tune with your body, be in tune with the microbiome that's inside you, and realize that it really is who you are. It is part of who you are.
And if you want to be tuned with us, you can call us at 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here, Living a Primal Lifestyle. And Paige, I really like it when we talk about a subject and then a week or two later, all of a sudden we get a substantiation of it. And this is
we're cutting edge.
Yes, we are. NPR, the title is Beneath an Ugly Outside, Marred Fruit May Pack More Nutrition. I would say probably vegetables too.
Yeah, and there you go. So one bad apple may not spoil the whole bunch, folks. And this is an interesting, cute story. When orchardist Eliza Greenman walks through a field of apple trees where she grows these pesticide-free apples in Virginia, when she gazes up upon a pocked array of blemished and buckled fruits, scarred from fighting fungus, heat, and pest, she feels a little thrill of joy. I'm absolutely infatuated with the idea of stress in an orchard, she says. Like I said, she custom grafts these. These forlorn, scabed apples, says Greenman, may actually be sweeter and healthier to boot.
It's really cool. It was an unofficial experiment. Greenman tested and scabbed and unscabbed Parma apples, I guess they're called, a high sugar variety,
sugar apple. Mm-hmm.
Native to the Southwest Virginia, and found that the scarred apples had a 2 to 5% higher sugar content than the unmarred apples from a tree. More sugar means higher alcohol content once fermented, producing a hardier cider.
Yeah.
So she says she loves ugly apples for another reason. They're more nutrition, have a higher antioxidant content.
Mm-hmm.
So the stress is really helping the fruit.
And it says now that there's some
us.
Right, and some of these stores now, can you believe we throw away more food? What was the quote here? It says we throw away enough food to fill 14 skyscrapers a year. That's amazing. That's disgusting.
I'm getting
actually.
A thought of the street people eating all these scarred vegetables.
I'm sorry, not 14 skyscrapers. It's 44 skyscrapers.
44, okay.
That's even worse.
So I'm getting this picture of the street people being healthy because they're eating these vegetables.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe,
there might be a better choice because exactly.
Yeah, so...
But actually, some stores like Whole Foods are making a move. Why waste this perfect food? This April, there were a handful of Whole Foods that took the move to start selling the cosmetically challenged produce. How about you all? I mean, when you see something, I remember real clearly walking into a store and seeing what I call normal apples, and then the Franken apples. Those apples you see them at the conventional grocery stores. They're about this big.
They look almost polished too, and they look like they're plastic in a way, don't they?
And then when you bite into them, there's just no taste.
Yeah.
There's just no taste. So maybe we'll see a return to those little ugly ducklings that we find, and we'll grab them and realize that we're actually getting something more valuable in those.
Yeah, here the author says, we already suspected this is the case with organic fruits and vegetables. A 2014 review of 343 studies found that organic produce had lower pesticides rates of 20 to 40% and higher antioxidant content than conventional.
Yeah, we still need to rinse them a little bit, but it's exactly true that they're still getting some pesticides. But
that's the problem with it. Or especially fruits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just to take this step a little further, ugly fruits actually bear the visible scars of their successful battles, dimpled or scarred where they fought off a biting or gnawing insect or surface infection. She says her ideal fruit is a truly wild apple, one left to its own defenses in nature, with the cosmetic imperfections to prove it. And, not all pests and diseases are benign. She notes a few common apple infestations are the results of harmful fungi, and that result in sooty blotch, dark patches, and fly speck. But these do not harm taste or texture or infect humans in any way.
I'm surprised how many studies there are on this. A study of Japanese knotweed, a plant that has a long tradition of use in Chinese and Japanese herbal medicine, found that infection with common fungi boosts resveratrol content as well. Resveratrol, of course, the antioxidant's been studied for eons, and of course that's in wine also. Mm-hmm. Maybe when you crush the grapes, the grapes are fighting back and giving us much more antioxidants in those things. So winemaking may naturally be one of our first medicines ever.
Actually, when you think about it, it's true.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go have a glass of wine.
Well, I had a friend who was writing a book, and it was going to be all about the medicinal powers of liquor and, wine, spirits, the medicinal power of spirits. And quite frankly, it was a big part of the medicine cabinet. Drinks, spirits were used to chase the spirit, the evil spirit of an illness. Kind of cool stuff.
Yeah. And we mentioned a little while ago about the people who are living on the street, and I just want to say something. I really admire people who are living on the street. I know some of them is due to illnesses and things like that, but to live on the street and make that the decision that you're going to be doing this, that takes a lot of guts. I don't know if I could do that. You know, it's just, so I think when you see people on the street, look at them in a different light. Don't look down on these people.
No,
These people are really part of our society, a society that we have created. We have created this situation for these people. They need our help. Community-wise, individually, we need to smile at these people. We need to say hello to these people, and we need to help them if we can. You know, $1 or $2 out of our pocket doesn't mean anything to them. It may mean that they're going to have a meal, and they may drink or they may do drugs with it too. But however they're getting along, it's up to them. Help these people, and I do admire them a lot.
Yes, I do too. I got you on that.
Okay, let's get back to this.
Yeah. So, you know, we were talking a little bit about the power of the resveratrol, and one of these scientists was saying it's certainly true of compounds like resveratrol. It's intriguing evidence that plant compounds that increase under stress may be good for our health. But those benefits are not as well documented. They're still researching that. So that's what we see. For example, plants like maca. You know, any plant, or the nopal cactus, any plant that can go from 120 degrees during the day down to minus 30 at night
Gotta be
has
a
to have
strong
a
plant.
powerful immune system.
Yeah.
And essential oils are actually the components of the plant's immune system.
Right. Those are the fatty acids.
And
that
those
they
are
have.
what they're producing to survive their
He
environment.
points out that things that are known as longevity diets, such as traditional Mediterranean diet, Okinawa cuisine, are rich in exactly these compounds and antioxidants. So he says here, so backyard organic gardeners, rejoice. Your imperfect produce may be more perfect than you thought. Next time you hesitate over a flawed fruit, remember that it may be a hardy survivor bearing hidden nutritious gifts. And I've started to look at all the vegetables and fruits that are in our house like that, leaving them out more, letting them get into a natural state of, being getting that antioxidants in it because
and letting the plant and its microbiome and all the bacteria that live within the plant.
Yeah. So this
do
means
its
that
thing.
the plant is actually still living because it's producing this, as opposed to animal flesh, which after you cut it and things like that, you have to dry it and things like that. It may be better for you in different forms also, but it doesn't have that ability to bring those antioxidants to us, not in that same form.
There you go. Well, you know what? We're going to take a break here shortly, but when we come back, let's talk a little bit about, we were talking about eating the right forms of meat.
Yes.
And the bison is becoming a healthier grass-fed alternative.
Yeah.
And let's talk about how there's different views are emerging on how to treat these wild animals. So we'll be back in a second, but we hope you'll pick up our newsletter coming out to you very shortly. And some Primal Edge. Use your Tiger dollars and stay healthy and trade with us.
Yeah,
Watch
and the number
us.
here is 877-927-6648. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And we're going to talk a little bit about this emerging demand for bison or buffalo, as many people know. And I wasn't aware, but you already were, that Ted Turner, the billionaire, who just rounded the corner on 77, by the way.
And he won the America's Cup in 1977.
Oh, how about that? How about that? You know, he's a billionaire, and he used to be called the Mouth of the South. And he's a much quieter version of himself these days, and he enjoys life, enjoying his 1.9 million acres of ranch land that he owns, I guess, up in Montana, up in that part of the country. And what he did to nudge bison, he owns more bison herd than anyone else on the planet. And what he's done to help nudge this healthy meat onto America's plate. And he said, I used to satisfy people's thirst for knowledge. Now I satisfy people's thirst for healthy food. So.
Well, you know, this is kind of a two-edged sword in a way, the way I look at it, because buffalo, of course, great wild animal, the real basis for the Plains Indians' food and way of lifestyle, especially when they rediscovered the horse again. But they treated the buffalo a lot different than we do, and of course, the reason that they think it's healthy here is because it's a leaner meat.
Right.
But the American Indians love the buffalo for its fat, that big hump.
Right.
And it's a real discolored fat. It's a real shiny type of pinkish looking fat. To us, it would probably look kind of weird. However, it was highly prized. In fact, that hump of fat is the thing they made sure they carried home. The rest of it, not so much. They fed the dogs and things like that. So I think we have to look at it.
So we should be seeing an opportunity to get bison fat hump, the bison hump.
And I've never seen anybody.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about this, and maybe I'll write a little letter to Ted saying, hey, wait a minute, let's look at what our ancestors did.
Yeah, you go. And, it showed up on people's plates more in a private reserve, but now it's, we're starting to see it more regularly.
Seeing it in a lot of different places. Yeah, I've been to a lot of, I like to go to these little microbreweries when I travel, and a lot of these microbreweries do have bison meat on there. It's a tasty meat. It's lean, like they said, so it doesn't have as much
leaner
fat.
than chicken or fish, and if it's raised on grass, it has a significant amount of omega-3 fatty acids, which we want to hope, if he's got this 1.9, all this acreage, then hopefully they're running around on the grass.
In fact, all his cows are. And, he had a real good relationship with these things. They were almost pets in the beginning when he had a small farm outside of Atlanta, if I remember correctly, and he started raising these things and then moved and bought all this acreage up in Montana.
He thought of them as pets.
He thought of them as pets, so he didn't, for the first decade while he was raising them, he never ate any of them because he didn't want to eat his dog, in a sense, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah. It says here, on one side are Mr. Turner's brands of old school ranchers who finish their bison on grain and slaughter them like conventional cattle. On the other are people who are looking for America's original red meat. raised as wild as possible and slaughtered as humanely as possible. They see bison as a special protein source unto itself that should be raised as part of a system that restores and preserves grassland.
Yeah.
And, that's a good point of what you said, raising them more the way the American Indian did. The American Indian was rather perplexed, right, at the cattle, the domestication of the cattle.
Yeah, well, they thought it was an inferior species, but they're always perplexed, too, that the white
almost
man,
everything we did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The wheels, ruining their country, but also killing animals and not eating them,
Yes.
just for sport. So sport to them, there was no such thing as that type of a sport to them. And this kind of, I wanted to mention to people, too, that the show, The Alaskans, started their next season again. It started last week. It's on the Animal Planet. I encourage everybody to see this show, because when you see it, these people are living under conditions that we would say today is almost impossible because of the hard winters and things like that, and being so desolate, and the fact that northern Alaska, at this area, there's not a lot of animals because it's so darn cold, so it's hard to survive up there. But these people have such a passion. When you hear them talking, there's no place they'd rather be. They bring their kids up there.
They're so connected.
They're so connected, and they said, it's the same kind of feeling if you've seen that movie Wild, or read the book Wild. There's a kind of a thing that happens when you go on a trail for extended period of time, and you're all alone in the wilderness, and you have this kind of euphoric feeling. And they say everybody that does the trail, or even parts of the trail, gets this feeling that they've never felt before, and that's what the feeling is in Alaska. Is they're in the wild, and there's nothing better than looking at our Creator's creation as it was meant to be. What we're building is beautiful. We build a lot of good things, but there's nothing that's better than getting it right directly from the source. The way our planet, we have this gorgeous, gorgeous planet. We do all kinds of things to it. Living a primal cell lifestyle is really about getting back to the way our pristine Earth was.
And that's so true, Nico. Thanks for sharing that. And what we see with this two sides of the fence on this bison is there are some people who are just starting to try and commercialize the bison, feeding them commercial grains. One person, Miss Forrest, who is a distributor of bison meat, said bison is the iconic, beautiful symbol of Americana that represents strength and power. And she said her company is not interested in the least in buying bison that have been fed grain.
Yeah. No, I'm not interested in any animal that's
Seems
been
like a
fed
shortcut.
grain.
We don't want animals from ranching using a feedlot model.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
that's good to know. So let's support our free grazing ranchers that are growing bison.
And I think the reason that they never grew bison in the beginning, because they're a lot harder to grow. In other words, they take a lot longer to mature. So you have to have them longer, which means costing more money. Also, we have to really think about the migration of animals, too. Their natural tendency is to move. And when we confine them, even when we confine them into large plots of land. Now, he has 1 million or so acres, that's a lot of things to grow. I mean, you could fit probably parts of Yellowstone or something into that.
1.9 million.
1.9 million acres.
Yeah,
so there, you're talking about free range. That's a beautiful thing. And that's the way I really see all our animals. A little hard to do in our modern state, but I think there's a way to get back there to do that, because in the future, I don't think we'll need all these roads and tearing up things. I think.
And here's some people who are doing it, Nico. There's a gentleman, Dan O'Brien, a former biologist, who owns the 23,000-acre Cheyenne River Ranch just west of the Badlands National Park. He's writing a book, Buffalo for the Broken Heart, Restoring Life to a Black Hills Ranch, chronicling his efforts to convert his land from beef to bison. So a whole different way.
Yep.
And so maybe we can get the whole country to move back to more of a primal way.
Yeah, and as a conclusion to this says, in the end, perhaps two systems for bison will exist. One to satisfy people who want a meal centered on 4 ounces of grass-fed field slaughter buffalo, and the other ones who prefer an affordable bison that can be turned into a decent, healthy burger on a Tuesday night. May look a little bit like the salmon market, where supply, price, and consumer preference make room for both farmed, raised fish and wild fish. I don't like the farm-raised fish. I think it's a different species. I think the feedlot bison or steers would also be a different type of species. And in fact, if you're eating that, you're a different type of species. That's the way I kind of see it.
Yeah, she says, hopefully Mr. Turner is the one that can turn things around. Hopefully he'll abandon the feedlot model. He is the one guy who could change it based on the size. So, but it's all about all of us making the change too.
Yep.
If we
we'll change it
demand.
right now. We got a break coming up, so see you next.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit tfnn.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Welcome back to the show, folks. I found this really interesting article because I'm always in tune with how the sun and electricity works on planet Earth.
Absolutely.
So this was pretty cool. Bright flash of light marks incredible moment when life begins, when the sperm meets the egg. So we have this little picture here.
Yeah, human life begins in bright flash of light as the sperm meets the egg. The scientists have shown for the first time after capturing this astonishing fireworks on film. An explosion of tiny sparks erupts from the egg at the exact moment of conception. Wow, I get goosebumps thinking about that. But, we really are an electric universe, one-verse. We really are one. And we are electric beings. And, the scientists have seen the phenomenon occur in other animals, but is the first time has been able to see it in humans. It's kind of a cool picture.
Yeah, in fact, I flashed back to the time when that comet went into Jupiter. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and it was fragmented, so it went in. But where it touched, where the outer edges of that comet hit the atmosphere, there was a huge flash. Mm-hmm. And the astronomers have never really talked about it, but in the electric universe, they have really been talking about this flash. That, there's the electric energy right there at the beginning of it, and define it in the cell, and as you often say, as above, so below. And you can see that a foreign object entering a planet, big flash of light. Now we have the sperm going into the egg, big flash of light. Pretty cool, I'm thinking.
Yes, and not only is it an incredible spectacle highlighting the very moment that the new life begins, the size of the flash can be used to determine the quality of the fertilized egg. I'm sure this will be used in vitro type studies and helping people pick the healthier fertilized egg. Yep. Researchers from Northwestern University noticed that some of the eggs burn brighter than others, showing that they are more likely to produce a healthier baby, more life force, yep. More life force generated in that. When we see this, I think a lot about that, but, this is the beginning of biological life. Mm-hmm. But is that really the beginning of spiritual life?
Well, is it really the beginning of biological life? Because these cells are alive, the sperm is alive.
Well, the egg's alive and the sperm is alive. And then they meet, and there's this spark, this connection, this working together to produce the replication. But that's not the soul. Mm-hmm. When does the soul get there? Is that the beginning of the soul?
Yeah, we don't really know.
Or does the soul... So that's just like you and I get in our car this morning. Isn't it possible that the soul says, hey, I like that one. That one had a good spark. I think that's the one I'm going to climb into.
Well,
because what happens when we die?
Between people.
What happens when we die? We step out of the car. We step out, the spark goes away. You think about
but does it emerge somewhere else? That's
you think of the religious argument about when life begins. Well, what do you call life? Biological life or spiritual life?
Well, I don't think life ever really dies. It just gets recirculated. I think that's the wrong argument in that, because the bottom line is it's up to the person that has the zygote in them.
Well, if I stuck you in a freezer, mm-hmm. You'd die right now.
Well, that might be suspended.
Or for all intent purposes, you would die. Mm-hmm. So we're freezing these eggs in fertility mm-hmm. situations, and then we're pulling them out, and then we're injecting with sperm.
And they're alive.
Yeah. So is that the life that is you and I? Is it the spiritual life? Or is that
unanswered questions that we all have.
Is that the creation of the vehicle? The vehicle that we ride in as a baby, and the vehicle that we shut the door and say, I'm out of here. I'm on to a new route.
As my father would say, these are questions that are unanswered and probably will never be answered, and that's why we keep...
But that's why we're here. We want to know the answers and share the answers. We hope you have a great rest of your week.
Yes, that's for sure.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sticking around, folks. Please pick up some Primal Edge and look at my newsletter. I have a new one coming out. And, we want you to have a great week and weekend. And the month of May is coming up.
That's right. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.